Hey everyone who's just jumping on board, just doing an impromptu live uh, little chat. Just wanted to hang out with you guys before I headed out the studio for the day, and a couple things I wanted to chat about. So let me know in the comments or whatever the case may be. As soon as you jump in, just let me know you can hear me, you can see me okay. Just let me know in the chat. Too early, John Caven. I mean, are you saying it's just too early for you, or you're here too early? Let me know. Let me know. All right. Give me a second. Just working on some technical issues here. Felipe, Alec, good to see you. Sound is okay. Everything's good. Yeah, I can hear you, Jackson. Guys, thanks for jumping on board. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. And couple things. I just wanted to just wrapping up a day here at the studio, and I thought, you know what, before I head out the weekend, let me just say hello to a couple of you guys. Share something that helps me out in my workflow. Actually, a project I was working on earlier today was something that I was implementing that was a real big help for me. So I figured I'd just share it with you and just chat with you guys for a little bit. If that sounds okay with you, just let me know in the chat or in the little. Let me know if that sounds cool for you guys. No? Perfect? Okay. Thanks for responding. Just makes me feel like there's somebody out there. So, couple things. Yeah, sure. Think of some things that you guys want to throw my way before I hang out. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet though. I'm not gonna have it as long as I did my last live session, just because I haven't eaten for a while and I'm dying to head out. So, real quick, one thing that I keep in mind when approaching any project is, and I just wanted to share this one thing that really has helped me just create a quick workflow, and that to me is important because one of the things throughout my experiences, and I'm going to share a little story. This is when I was working with amazing singer performer Kelly Rowland. Had the privilege of working with Kelly Rowland down here in the studio in Miami, which is where I'm from, and we're working together. And I noticed that a while back, something I learned really quickly was I don't have all day to comb through to find the perfect snare drum, or that perfect kick drum, or something like that, or that perfect preset, because I'm literally there on the record label's time and dime, and the artist is literally right there next to me, and I had this eerie sense that they were just there twiddling their thumbs and being like, what's this guy doing? And I'm like, no, just hold on, I gotta find the perfect snare. And so I saw that happen. So let me backtrack a little bit. So during that session, somebody came into the studio that knew the manager of Kelly, and they were just catching up, and he said, hey, let me play let me play Kellen some tracks and stuff like that, or let me just play some stuff. And there was another producer there at that time. So the other producer, before I came in for the session, was doing exactly that. This producer was just scrolling through snares, kick drums, and all these different patches and presets. Meanwhile, Kelly Rowland is just sitting in the corner like, what's going on? And so I took that to consideration, realizing if I'm working or collaborating with other artists or other singer-songwriters, I need to make sure that I'm developing a process, a system that allows me to have the most clear possible way to express my creative ideas, and allow the artist that I'm working with to express their creative ideas without the hindrance of any technical hangups, or such as like, oh wait, let's just wait till that snare is just right. So this whole spiel, it's and hi Flound, yeah, it's so easy to spend an hour trying to find that snare. Yeah, it's easy to fall into that trap. I definitely want to piggyback and echo you on that one. It's easy to fall into that trap. So one thing I've done is, what I do is I take 1 hour or 1 or 2 hours a week, throughout, whatever I'm got going on. I specifically allocate some time during my week to just comb through sounds, comb through loops, comb through a bunch of, maybe it could be break beats, records, things from other genres that I like, music that I'm currently like, wow, this is cool. I might hit the radio on Spotify, discover some new stuff. But I do allocate some time of my week to come across things like that, and I compile them in my places in Ableton Live. I'll put them together, and I kind of keep that there, inspiring things that, and I won't go to them, at that very moment, because the problem is you comb through a sample. Now, granted, sometimes you'll find a sample like, oh wow, this is inspiring, and I'll come up with something on the spot, and that happens. But my intention is I'll take an hour, find some samples, find some really cool stuff, place them in a folder, drop it there, and won't go to it till next week or some other time. And the whole point is this, is that when I'm working with somebody, I want to have something fresh and cool that I'd be like, that I've already taken the time to judge whether or not this was inspirational or great sounding. And then what I'm doing is I'm setting that aside so that those moments, both myself and the artist and the collaborator would be instantly hooked and be like, wow, that's cool. What is that? That's kind of neat. So I've done that. That's been a kind of a thing that I do. That's something personal that I've introduced into my workflow, and it's helped me. It's helped me in those situations when I'm working with artists. And just to go back to the story, working with Kelly Rowland, I brought up one of those folders, came across this really cool loop, and she was like, wow, what is that? It was a sample from. It was a sample from an old movie of when the Roman Empire were marching into Rome. I think it was the old. It was just one of those old movies, and it was that, and it had these horns trumpeting, and she really liked that. She was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So I took that, and the good thing is when you're inspired, you don't need to get hung up on the quality of the snare drum. You just go and provide an opportunity where a great melody and a great overall concept can be birthed, and that's the whole concept here. Is not to get hung up on the technical issues, but just creating an environment that allows the best creative workflow possible. And so that's my role, and that's my job as a producer, is to provide that environment for the artists that I'm working with, to provide that environment for singer-songwriters that I'm collaborating with. It's my role and my job as a creative sort of director, but more along the lines as a producer, to bring out the best of that person. And so I want to have something that brings out the best in me. So I take the time out sometime in my week to do that, to just put some stuff together, put some stuff that I know sound great, put that aside, and have that for a rainy day, so to speak, when working with somebody. So that's also been a really helpful tool in my everyday workflow when I'm working on stuff, or just maybe prepping things to pitch for artists, or to pitch for opportunities and things like that. So let me know in the chat if this made any sense whatsoever, if you guys kind of understand what I'm talking about, and maybe share some of the things that you guys struggle with as well when it comes to how to kind of psych yourself out in preparation with working with somebody else. And feel free to jump in with. Cool. I'm sorry for my English, but can you explain how you select samples to each other? Yeah, sure. Ratmir. Ratmir, what I mean by that is I basically create like maybe drum racks in Ableton or stuff like that with sounds that I typically like, and instead of getting hung up on spending an hour on looking for the perfect snare drum, I'll just get 5 or 6. What I'm saying is, take the time throughout your week where you're not focusing on the creative side of things, like you're trying to create a beat, trying to write a song, or trying to put something together, but instead create a discipline where you're shaping an hour of your day or some time of that week. If you have less than an hour to work with, then so be it, but at least take some time aside and go just digging and looking purposely for samples that you can use, that you can collect in your arsenal, whether it's recording records, or something like that. I haven't skipped your question. I actually, if you can type it in again, I didn't catch it in the flow of comments. But what I'm saying is, take some time throughout the week that you can that you can just dedicate solely to discovering new sounds, finding new presets or something like that that you can have. And what you're doing is you're trying to build the discipline of finding things that really perk up your ear creatively, that can inspire the next time you get into the production chair, so to speak. And that's what I'm talking about. So hit me up with your question again. Really helpful tip. I'll start working collabs. I was really worried about that problem, and this is a really good thing to probably, yeah. Just be prepared. People want to know that they're working with somebody who's got their head on straight, who knows how to navigate them to the end goal. The worst thing that happens, or the thing that used to happen to me at first, is when I started collaborating with people, I had like the deer in the headlights. I was like, so what do we do? I guess we just vibe out. I'll just make a beat or something, and then. But for the most part, people want to have somebody who kind of steers the ship and knows where they're headed. So I kind of project an overall vision or a goal for where we go. Not putting our creativity in a box. I'm just sort of saying, hey, this is what I'm saying. So I'm trying to record a very distorted bass for an experimental project. The thing is, the frequencies go nuts. So I wanted to know how I can improve the sound of the bass with the effects. This is coming from DHRRA. I'm trying to record a very distorted bass for an experimental project. Okay. Frequencies go nuts. If you can break that down, I guess what you're trying to say is to improve the sound of the bass with are you trying to record with effects on, or you're trying to just process and put the effects afterwards? Let me know, and then I could probably just better help you out with that. Somebody asked, what's your favorite mic to use on vocals? You know, Pascute 118, that is a great question. As a matter of fact, I'm right now in the process of filming a whole blueprint, like A to Z, on vocal production. As some of you who are probably on my list know, I'm currently right now producing a resource that's going to walk you through my whole process of recording vocals, editing, pitch vocals, good proper positioning for your vocals, everything that goes into working with vocals, vocal stacking and getting your vocals to sound great in the mix as well. The whole kit caboodle. That's exactly what I've been working on today, and I'm looking forward to actually releasing this. So if you want more information about this whole vocal, I'm calling it my breakthrough vocal program. I'm not sure yet, Nate, but breakthrough vocals, and where I share with you some experience that I learned from working with some of today's biggest artists: Sia, Kelly Rowland, Skylar Grey, Jason Derulo, things that I've learned from working with these vocalists that I want to share with you. I'm putting together in this complete walkthrough. I think you're going to be really, really surprised. I'm going above and beyond, and because I really am passionate about this, and I want you guys to have the ability to learn from my years of experience. So if you want more information about that, visit my website. That's illfactormusic.com, and just go ahead and sign up and download a free ebook that I put together, and I'm going to let you know when that, and I'm planning to release that in just a couple of weeks. So definitely get on my mailing list so you can get first dibs, because I'm going to be bonusing it. When I launch it, I'm going to be equipping it with a lot of extra goodies. So definitely let me know. Let me go back through some of the comments. Do you have any mixing tips? Yeah, I'm going to put a bunch of the mixing tip stuff, especially on vocals, on there. Is it me, or does the stream keep freezing? I have no clue. Sorry. Seems pretty good. What is the best tip to finish a track when you have a good feeling about it? Vide D. And I'll answer two more questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and log off because I'm about to eat my own arm here. I'm sorry. But so Vide D, that's a great question. What is the best tip to finish a track when having a good feeling about it? Definitely, first off, having a great feeling about the track is amazing. But sometimes emotions can be fleeting. If you're hungry enough, you could lick the doorpost and eat it, right? But that doesn't mean that was a good decision. So what we should be doing is when you have that good feeling, and that's definitely a plus, having a good feeling about songs. There's nothing like that in the world, where you're in the zone, you're creating something like, man, this just feels right. I love that feeling. But when you're getting stuck in that rut, it's like, where do I go now? take a moment to step away from that environment. Take a sheet of paper, take a pen or something like that. And what I recommend you do is you take that pen, you take that piece of paper, sit somewhere else, and then write down 5 things that you think would make that track finish or be considered finished. It could very well be, hey, I need some vocals in the bridge, or maybe if I just added some vocals. But write down 5 things that you think you would need to wrap up that song. And then what you want to do is go with that approach of saying, okay, here's my bare minimum. I need to tackle these things on this list, because what tends to happen is you're detaching from that the hamster wheel effect of just running and running and running, and then you get numb, and then you have no idea what to add on to this. So take a break, take a breather, but go somewhere else in a separate environment and literally physically write down some things that you think would you consider this track to be fit. Maybe it needs a mix, maybe it needs a master, or maybe a polish. But these are all things that you can write down. I would limit it to 5, so make it a really a good priority. Set the priorities. Like, definitely needs a vocal because it's just straight up doesn't have anything around there like that on there. So I hope that helps. How did you use I'm using Diva VST with Camel Crusher. Okay. So let me go and answer your whole bass thing. So if you're recording bass into and you're using the Camel Crusher or using Diva, the VST synth. Okay. Yeah. I'm so sorry, but if you can give me a little bit more details about what do you mean by frequencies, or if the frequencies are going nuts, meaning then what you want to do is maybe make a duplicate of that bass track. So here's what I'm saying. So if you're using the Diva, if you've got a instrument, duplicate one and use an EQ to shave off all the low end, or to shave off all the high end, sorry, so that you just have the bass of that. And then the duplicated track, shave the low end off, and then process that one with the Camel VST and things like that, and then balance the two out. So you've got just a dry bass signal, because typically all that low end is what starts to cause a lot of the craziness when it's being processed through distortion and things like that. But you also lose a lot of the grit that gets saturated in distortion from the low end. So just experiment. See which one works better, if the dry one without the low end on the distortion, or vice versa. That's a good way to kind of go through that. Now I'll go ahead and answer one more before I log off, guys. Have you ever used focal monitors, and if yes, would you recommend? Yeah, focal monitors are great. I have used them. They sound phenomenal. But here's my thing with going on the endless chase of which monitor is going to be right for you. I would say just get used to your room. I would rather you treat your room better if it's not already treated, but definitely get some. I'd spend the money on room acoustics, or getting your room situated, or positioning the monitors you have currently in the correct position, as opposed to chasing after the unicorn monitor, the one monitor that's going to solve all your problems. Because that's my thing with KRKs. I use KRKs because I've used them growing up, and I used them, me and Jimmy Douglas, we use them, and my ears are so accustomed to those speakers that I know how to get my mixes right using those speakers, and I've treated my room so that they fit in response to that. So that's my whole take on that. But focals, they sound great. They sound fantastic. I think if those are going to be your first monitors, awesome. They're a great investment. I hope that answers your question. Curious as to how you got to. All right, let me. Curious to how you got where you are now in terms of exposure, and how you ended up working with such big names. Okay. Curious to how you got. Well, you know what? I'll do another one of these, and where I can go more in depth about my journey and how I got here. But in a nutshell, it has been a tremendous blessing. I haven't had a 9-to-5 cubicle job for the past 17 years. I've been producing music solely as a living for 17 years now, and it has been nothing short of a blessing from God for me to be doing what I'm doing. That's just the truth. I've been blessed to be working with some of the biggest artists. But one thing is, one underlining factor, and if you've seen any of my interviews that I've done, maybe with Graham or other people, one thing I stress a lot about is having a heart of servitude. and having a heart that is out um, to add value rather than see what's in it for me. And I've learned that the hard way. I started out my career chasing people, saying, "Hey, man, you know." I treated people as objects as opposed to people, and that's something I learned from my first early years as being a drum and bass producer here in Miami. Is I just saw a person as an opportunity, and I treated them that way. And at the end of the day, it backfired and it hurt me in the long run. And I put that aside and I started realizing, I want to have the attitude of how can I add value to this person, even if I get nothing in return. How can I add value to this person? And so that actually started the ball rolling with Jimmy Douglas. Him and Timberland needed some remix work done, and I was like, hey, listen, man, I'll do some remix work, and no problem. And I started remixing, and that was my opportunity, and my talent just kind of lined up to that point in time. And so via the remix work stuff that I started doing for Timberland and Jimmy Douglas, that got the ball rolling. But I started approaching it as, hey, how can I best serve you? What can I do? What can I bring to the table that the next guy isn't doing? And how can I work extra hard to make sure that what I'm bringing to the table is better than the next guy? And that was been my attitude, and that's just led from opportunity to opportunity to do exactly that. If anybody's promised you now, granted, mentoring has been the big major key. So having a mentor, someone like Jimmy Douglas and somebody that's been in the business for 48 plus years, was a huge stepping stone for me. So seek out a mentor, seek somebody who's willing to do that and has a teachable spirit to help you take that next step forward. All right. Now, if you're looking for resources to help you take your next step forward with your music, I would be more than happy to provide that. So if you visit my website, Ill Factor Music, ILLF as in Frank, ACTOR, music.com. I've put together an ebook sharing some of the things that I've learned throughout my experience on how I was able to take advantage of opportunities and create success in today's music business. So it's an ebook I've put together. It's absolutely yours for free. Just go to the website, download that, and I hope and there's plenty more resources on the website as well. For those of you who are interested in my vocal process and recording vocals, getting your vocals to sound great, treating vocals with effects, how do you stack your vocal, how do you get your vocals to sound professionally pop or something like that, I'm literally in the process right now recording that product. So definitely go to my site, get in my mailing list so that you can take advantage of the exclusive offer I'm going to be doing in a couple of weeks for that product. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm about to jump off so that I can get something to eat. Ratmir, I know you're asking about the legal question about sampling. I promise you I'll get another opportunity to do a live thing, and if you can jump on, I'll let you know in advance. Get on my mailing list, and it's gonna be out. Hi Flan, you're asking how much it's gonna be. Trust me, you're definitely gonna want to be on the mailing list to get the exclusive offer that I'm providing. It won't break the bank, but it's gonna be worth every penny because I'm putting a lot of energy into this one, and I'm really, really excited about this. So, I hope that answers your question. All right, guys. Well, let me know if anything that I shared was helpful. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. Go ahead and type in the little thing, the little thing, the little thing. Just let me know if any of this was helpful. This encourages me to keep doing one of these live little moments on YouTube. If not, that's cool. I probably won't do them anymore if they're not that helpful. But let me know in the chat, in the comments, if this is something cool you guys would like me to do more often. Okay, cool. I got Felipe asking me, yes, keep doing it. Ratmir, keep doing this for sure. Awesome. Yes, the snare tip was a good one. Never really thought about that. Yeah, that's the one. That's the big mistake I made early on, so definitely catch on. Yes, dude, it was helpful. Greetings from Argentina. Beludo, Argentina. ¿Cómo está todo? Esa playa. Thank you guys. Keep doing it. Yeah, Robo Beats, great. I'm glad this was helpful for you guys. So, cool. So I'll be doing this. Looks like I'm going to be doing this more often in the future, and I'll announce it. I know this was impromptu. Lux, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Martin, thank you for jumping on board. Lino, Good, man. Thank you, guys. So, guys, thank you so much. I'm going. I got the wife and kids waiting for me at home. I'm starving. I'm going to start eating the doorknob again. But thank you, guys. Definitely visit the website so you can stay up to date with this vocal product that I'm in the process doing. I start talking about this thing over here, this awesome preamp and stuff like that, and much more things. So, gracias. Gracias por todo. Well, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.